Q&A video. How's it going, everyone? Luke here from Dungeoneers, and welcome to the Q&A video. If you guys are just here for regular content, stay tuned. I am actually working on a couple videos right now, and they should be out sometime within the next week or so. So the regular video uploads are going to be back. But today we're doing a Q&A video. I had people leave a bunch of questions in the Discord, and a couple actually on a video I posted about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we're just going to be going through all of them, no particular order, and I'm just going to be reading out every single one of them. And unless it's a repeat question, and giving you guys my honest answer. So without further ado, let's begin. So first question, this is a really big one. I get it all the time. Which do I like more, Black Desert or Warframe? And I think that's actually a very interesting question because I really like both games, but I like them both for different reasons. So I don't think it's a simple matter of which one do I like more. It's sort of more which of the things am I more in the mood for. Because Warframe, I really like it for its instance-based combat. You know, you pick a level, you go in, you do what you need to do, you get out, you get your rewards, and it's really easy to jump in with a party. There's a lot of party play with it. It's fun to play with your friends, and it's just overall like a very quick sort of get in, get out, have fun type of game, which is what I like it for. Whereas Black Desert, I like Black Desert because you can really just sort of get lost in the world of Black Desert. Like I know that Warframe has really good lore and story, but Black Desert, you know, you could realistically just turn off the HUD, crank up the music, and literally just walk around in the forest and explore for a while, and you really do get lost in the Black Desert world, and it feels very connected, right? Whereas Warframe, because it is instant space, it doesn't feel quite as connected as Black Desert, where if you want to go to the other side of the world, you can't just fast travel there. You have to walk there, and that really, I think, does a lot for the immersion of it. So I can't really say which one I like more because I like them for better. If I'm looking for a quick get in, get out, have fun party game with a bunch of friends online, I would definitely pick Warframe. But if I'm looking just for something to get really lost and immersed in and just explore like a really in-depth world, I would go more for Black Desert. So I don't really think I can pick which one I like more, but I like them just both for different reasons. Next question is, what would your perfect day be? And that's a very hard question. I would say a perfect day is, one of my favorite days is, you know, you get up a little bit early, not super early, like earlier than you normally would, which would be noon for me. And you get up, have a really nice cup of coffee with my girlfriend and my mom, and hang out with my dog and my cat. Get up, you know, just relax, and then go to the zoo. I am actually like a monstrous fan of the zoo. I love going to the zoo so much. I love animals and I love learning things. Like I love learning new things, and going to a zoo and getting like an educational tour of it and learning all sorts of new things and seeing all sorts of these awesome animals. I love doing that. So pretty much getting up, having a great breakfast, going out for a breakfast, maybe to like a breakfast restaurant, heading out, having a great day at the zoo where it's nice and warm outside, but it's not baking hot, you know, just like a nice warm day. And then go to the zoo, hang out all day, have ice cream, drive around, check out all the awesome animals, and then get home, have a really nice long shower, cool rinse off, get out, and then just kick back and watch some anime or play some video games with my family and pretty much just relax. You know, I'm not really a big like go out and, you know, hang out with people kind of person. I'm very much like more introverted. I like hanging out at my house. I like being warm and comfy and living in my pajamas basically, but the zoo would have to factor in there because I love going to the zoo so much. And it's great because a lot of people's perfect day would be, you know, something that's a little more unobtainable, whereas for me it's, you know, an hour and a half drive away and kicking back in some pajamas. So that would probably be my perfect day. All right, so the next one here, we actually have a couple questions from the same person, but I'm going to answer them anyway. First off, do you plan to stick to a game or become a complete variety channel? And that's actually a good question because I don't actually really have any plans of it. I'm willing to do both. For example, I would like to play like a couple different games like I have been with my, you know, first impressions and stuff like that. But if a game were to come out where it was absolutely phenomenal and I absolutely loved it, there was like no problems that I had with it, and I was getting views and I was getting content out, I would not have any issues sticking with one game for a while. For example, way back when Diablo 3 came out, I would have stuck with Diablo 3 if I could have got viewers on it. And to this day, I would stick with Diablo 3 if I could get viewers on it. But I'm not really planning on anything. I'm just kind of seeing where things take me. So that's pretty much the answer to that. Like, I'm going to keep trying out different games and stuff. I'm going to stick with my core Warframe and Black Desert for now. and Borderlands 3 when it comes out. But if something comes out where I really, really enjoy it and the viewers are coming in and people enjoy it, I have no issue sticking to just one game. Right now, what are your current goals? Are you planning on focusing more on Twitch or YouTube? This is actually a really good question, and I'm happy somebody asked this because I've been doing a lot more streams lately than I have been doing YouTube videos lately. So I knew that a lot of people were going to be getting the impression that I'm getting more into streaming than I am in YouTube. And that's actually not true at all. I actually much prefer YouTube over streaming. I've just been doing streaming lately because I really haven't been in the best mindset to be making YouTube videos, sitting down, you know, doing lots of editing and coming up with cool ideas and doing commentary and stuff. The main reason I've been doing streaming is because it's pretty much no different from me just playing games regularly. It's just that I can bring, you know, 10, 15 people in and they can hang out and watch me play. So I've just been doing that just because it's a little easier to help me get back into the commentary and stuff like that, because it took like a while break from doing commentary, and it does require some practice. You know, you can't just throw on a camera and start talking. It does require you to be able to talk to yourself for a while, and yeah, so I've just been doing streams in order to help me prepare for that. I wouldn't mind doing both. Like if I were, for example, to ever get to do this as my job full time, I would totally do like YouTube videos and then stream on the side just for some extra revenue and to actually be able to live chat with people, because YouTube, you can't really do it live. You can respond to comments and stuff, but that's all sort of delayed. But interacting with people live is actually really, really cool. So if I could eventually, if I'm able to ever do this full time, I would definitely do both. I would definitely live stream and still make the YouTube videos, because I still do like the YouTube process. Like I really like editing, creating the intros, cinematics and stuff like that. That's really what I really enjoy doing. So that's probably what I'm going to continue doing. All right, next question. Will you make more guides for more video games that you think you have a deeper knowledge of? I would have no issues making more guides, except I don't really have as much of a deeper knowledge about a lot of games. I mean, I know a lot about, for example, like League of Legends, Black Desert even. I don't really know too much about like the later game of Black Desert. I'm much more into the early game of Black Desert because I really tried to figure out how to optimize it, because I'm a big multi-character guy. Like I like making lots and lots of characters and really like getting them up as fast as possible. So I really tried to learn as much about the early part of Black Desert as I could rather than the late, which is why I started making guides on it. I can't really just think of too many games that I have like a really deep knowledge of besides like maybe League of Legends, and that's about it. But if any of them do come up, I would totally make guides if people wanted them. The only other thing I can think of that I have a really deep knowledge of is actually music, and I've actually been thinking about starting up a second channel for content pretty much just based on music, and maybe mix in some video game music and regular stuff as well, because I'm really, really big into it. I don't play anything myself. I don't play any instruments, but I really love that, just sitting down and listening to a good album and really trying to get a feel for it and learning what the emotions and stuff are that went into it, the writing process, the recording process. So I have a pretty deep knowledge of stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in me like making like a second channel, which is no video game stuff at all, just making like music or not necessarily movies, but I also am really into like science stuff. So if you guys would be interested in a channel like that, that'd be totally cool. But if there are any games that come out, for example, again, I keep bringing up the Borderlands example. I did really, really like the first Borderlands, and I was actually fairly into that, but nobody really needs guides anymore. I mean, it's an old game, but when that comes out, I'll definitely be making some guides on that. And if anything else comes up that I can think of, I'll definitely be getting into that. All right, so another question that I get asked all the time, and I can finally answer it for everybody. Am I planning to make a video and or live stream on the second Dream, the War Within, and the Sacrifice cinematic quests in Warframe? And the answer is a definite yes, when I actually get to playing them. I'm very slow at progressing through games like that because I like to play a lot of other stuff on the side. But I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to those quests in Warframe. So I'm not really like working towards them right now, but I definitely will at some point make a video of them. I don't know if I'll live stream them because I'm not very good at like doing things live. I try to get distracted by the chat and music and stuff like that. And I usually live stream later when I don't have time to be sort of like, you know, expressive for YouTube content. So I'm probably going to make it more of a YouTube video. But I might live stream it. I might even live stream a couple of them and YouTube some of them. I'll figure it out, but without a doubt, you guys will see my genuine first reaction to the second Dream, the War Within, and the Sacrifice quest in Warframe 100%. I just can't guarantee when it's coming out, but I can guarantee that it will come out eventually. All right, next up, guys, do you plan on uploading videos of single-player games? And this is a thing I've actually been thinking about. I would totally love to make videos on some single-player games. It just depends on what games you guys want to see. I've thought about doing Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I've thought about doing that one. I actually bought it, and I haven't played too much through it. The only issue is I'm not very good at them. Like, I'm not very good at, like, Dark Souls games and stuff like that. But on the other hand, that could actually make better videos. So if you guys are interested in those types of videos, I am totally down to upload a couple of them. I can just see how they do, and if they, you know, if they're really popular and people like them, I will continue to make them. And if people don't like them, I can always just stop it, you know, video 2 or 3 or whatever. But if you guys are interested, you know, let me know, and I will definitely look into it. Sekiro would definitely be the first one because I did pay a lot of money for it, and I haven't really played it, so I'm probably going to do that. And then I might follow up with some other Dark Souls, and I could definitely do some single-player games. I have no issues making videos on single-player games. It just depends if the amount of work I put into them is going to translate to getting viewers and stuff, because I only have so much time, right? Like, I work a full-time job, and then I come home and I have like a couple hours max to make videos. So if I'm going to make the videos, I want to put them into something that's going to get views. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. And I just want to make sure that it will actually get the viewers and stuff to be worth the time. But if you guys are interested, I'll definitely look into it. All right, what are your currently most played games of all time? This is actually a weird question because I'm sure when I was a kid, I had games that I played way more, like Pokemon and stuff like that. But I'm assuming this means like more recently. What are my most played games? And if I think about it, the answer number 1 for sure is going to be Crossfire, which is basically a Korean free-to-play Counter-Strike game. A couple people may know, but some people don't. I used to actually play Crossfire at a very, very high level. There wasn't necessarily really a big pro scene when I played, but there was definitely like a pug area, and there was definitely like a scene building, and I was very, very into that, and I played it for hours and hours every day. Like, I'm talking 6-7 hours a day, 7 days a week. I banged that game out, and I did that from 2009 to about 2014, so probably about 5 years straight. I put loads of time into Crossfire, and then after that's probably going to be League of Legends. Just because I've been playing it for so long. I've been playing League of Legends since Season 2. Not even necessarily as a main game all the time, but off and on I play it. And League it in itself is just time consuming, right? Because it's about 45 minutes or so per game. So, I mean, now it's like 20-30 minutes, but the games could go pretty long. So I put probably a lot of time into League of Legends. And then after that, it's going to be a hard one. I know Counter-Strike Go is up there. Counter-Strike Source is up there. I played a lot of Terraria, which is another game I've thought about doing on the channel. I did lots and lots of Terraria game. And then there was a couple PS2 games I played a load of, you know, Time Splitters, Future Perfect, Ratchet and Clank. Like, there's a lot of games like PS2 era that I played a lot of, but the two big ones for sure, like big ones, were League of Legends and Crossfire. Those were the two main played. And then after that, it's gonna be, you know, a whole bunch of other games around the same amount of time. All right, a little bit more specific one. What is my favorite Vault Hunter from any Borderlands game? And that is probably going to be the Borderlands 1 Siren, I believe. I really like the Borderlands 1 Siren. I'm pretty sure it's 1. The Borderlands 2 Siren was definitely better. She had the ability where she could pull an enemy in the air, and then you could shoot that enemy, and once you were built up, at least, she would attack all nearby enemies when you hit that one, which was like extremely good. But in Borderlands 1, there was a build, I think it was called the Phoenix build. It's been so long since I played Borderlands, where basically whenever you could pretty much use your special off cooldown whenever you wanted. But whenever you came out of it, all nearby enemies in like a huge radius would be set on fire, and then set on acid and set on everything else. Like, it was a huge elemental build, and I would just run around and just like murderize people with that, and I love that a lot. So that was definitely my favorite one. So I definitely say Lilith the Siren from Borderlands 1, followed by the Siren in Borderlands 2, and then I'll probably say Athena from pre-sequel. Those are like my top 3. In order. So Borderlands 1 Siren, Borderlands 2 Siren, and then Borderlands 3, I guess you call her the Gladiator or whatever she is, but Athena, the chick with the shield, who you could like throw in Captain America a whole bunch of people. That was really, really fun. So they're probably my favorites for sure. All right, interesting question. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? I have no idea. Is this a reference? Is this a reference to something I don't understand? All right, next up, will you be continuing Warframe and streaming it? Yes, it is on the list for sure. I will definitely be doing some more Warframe videos. I actually want to get in a couple Black Desert videos gotten out first. I'm kind of feeling playing some Black Desert again. It's been a while. So I'm going to be doing those, and then I'm sure once I get burnt out on Black Desert again, we will cycle back to the Warframe videos, but they will all be definitely coming, including streams, because streams are pretty easy to do. So definitely expect some more Warframe content for sure. What would you do if I gave end game spoilers? Well, I'd probably... I can't say anything. I don't want to get demonetized, but you get the idea. What is the most questionable game you've ever played in terms of confusing or bad content? That's an interesting game. I have a video on my channel that actually got demoned about 2 years ago, I think I made it. And it was a game that was a minimal interaction gay fetish game. And it was genuinely hilarious, but it was so like bizarre because it wasn't like what you would expect from like a gay fetish game where it's like you're gonna go out and pick up men and stuff. It was like your guy's like driving a car and he's getting off by like gear shifting and stuff. It was really weird. I might even unprivate the video if you guys want to see it, but it was just so weird to me because I didn't understand why anyone made it. Like, is anybody really playing a game where you're just moving a stick shift around and they're getting off from it? You know what I mean? Like, it was just so weird that, like, I don't know. It definitely was strange as hell. I might actually upload the video again if you guys are interested in it. All right, next up, what is the worst game you've ever played? This is a really, really tough question, and I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to give you an answer because there's a lot of bad games out there, and when I was younger, I used to be really into retro gaming. And I remember I would download like an emulator for like Super Nintendo and then find a torrent that had every Super Nintendo game ever made, and I would play them all, and some of them were just absolutely awful. I remember some of the Atari 2600 games. Like, don't get me wrong, Atari 2600, the games are sort of hard to play to begin with because they're so, not necessarily outdated, but they're very of the time. They have one button, stuff like that, but you could get pretty interesting with them. But some of them were just like, they were literally just random squares popping up, and then you press a button, it would go, and then you lose. Like, it didn't even make any sense what was happening. So I can't really give you a straight up concrete answer on what the worst game I've ever played is. Just because there were so many bad ones all throughout time. But out of modern games, there's been a couple that I've been really disappointed with. Bless comes to mind because I was waiting for Bless for literally like 4 years. I was waiting for it. Back when MMO Hut was a big website, I waited for Bless Online, and it finally came out, and it was just an absolute shit show. So I'm going to probably put Bless up there. It was really, really bad. There was also an MMO. I can't remember what it was called, but it was supposed to be like a pretty good MMO, and it came out and it was just like super sexualized and really bad, and I can't remember what it was called. I'll put the name down in the description if I remember it, but it got shut down pretty quick. And oh, change everything I said. I just remembered there was a game that was like Overwatch, and I was so excited for it, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. But it was a game that was supposed to be like a competitor to Overwatch, but it was much more like dark and brutal, and there was a lot of blood and gore and stuff. And it looked badass, and I was so excited for it, and I bought it. And it is, to this day, still the only game I have ever refunded on Steam. And I think I refunded it after like an hour and a half. Lawbreakers. It was called Lawbreakers. And I think the game lasted maybe a week until everybody stopped playing it because of how terrible it was. So that was, and that was a big letdown too, because I'd seen the gameplay and I was really excited to play it. I was looking up guides and character outlines and stuff like that, and I finally got it, and it was, oh my god, that's by far the worst game ever. So there's the answer. There's the answer after this long explanation. Lawbreakers is probably to this day the worst game I've ever played. All right, what was your favorite childhood TV show? So this one actually has a couple answers because I was really big into like kids cartoons when I was a kid. I really liked a lot of animes that were out at the time when I was a kid, so like the whole Inuyasha, like all that type of stuff. But I can distinctly remember I was a massive Ninja Turtles fan. Like, Ninja Turtles is my jam. To this day, I actually have a Ninja Turtles piggy bank over there. And I have like a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff. So Ninja Turtles is super fantastic. I love the Ninja Turtles cartoons. That was probably my favorite when I was a kid. Followed by Gargoyles. I can remember liking Gargoyles. I don't remember ever like watching it again. And then there was a show called Mummies Alive, which it was very niche, and I think it was only in Canada, so a lot of you US people might not have seen it. But it was basically like the same like Gargoyles, sort of like North American anime, but it was all mummies, and I think they drove like a sarcophagus around and stuff. It's been so long I haven't seen it, but I remember loving that show like nuts. So those are probably the top ones for sure. Big question: is Rags to Riches done? I don't know. Rags to Riches is definitely the biggest thing on the channel, but unfortunately I don't think people are super interested in it anymore, because most of the old Rags to Riches guides are still fairly relevant. So if I ever did it again, it would have to be more of a Rags to Riches for me. Rather than me showing you guys how to make money, it would be me sort of doing it and showing you my progress, which I'm kind of interested in doing, but I have an idea of doing something like that, but under a different name for the series. So I'm probably going to be working on that. So Rags to Riches isn't necessarily done. It's just sort of on hold, on hiatus, while I work on other Black Desert leveling, like work up series, if that makes sense. So pretty much it's with us in all but name, but I'm definitely willing to continue making a Rags to Riches series if I think there's like a new, really big sort of like change in the early game of Black Desert. Then I'm definitely going to make a new one for a new, maybe even a 2019 one, or maybe a 2020 one if Black Desert's still alive in 2020. All right, is YouTube your job? Yes and no. I do actually work full-time. I work in electronics department at a Walmart, just in a small town out where I live. But I do make money from YouTube, and it's not like a miniature amount. Like I know a couple of my friends make YouTube videos and they get like $2 a month. I do get like not a decent, but I get enough money that it's definitely a nice addition. So I'd say it's like more of a half job. It's more of a hobby that makes me money, almost like if you do art and sell it, stuff like that. I make about half as much doing YouTube that I do working at my regular job. Like 1 month that YouTube gets me about what I get every 2 weeks working full-time at Walmart. So I would say YouTube isn't my job, but I would love it to be my job. If it was my job full-time, I could definitely crank out content more often, just because I'm working so much, working full-time. And then when I come home, it's like dark, and it's, you know, I come home at nighttime and people are trying to sleep, so I can't really be like that loud. So it's actually only a small amount of time I get to record videos. But if I ever got to the point where I could do it full-time, I would definitely be able to crank out a lot more. And I'm definitely looking to do that one day. Like, I'm going to be working towards that, especially you'll see that with a lot more content coming out. Do you like playing Limbo? I'm assuming you're talking about the game Limbo, in which case, yes, Limbo is one of my favorite games. I actually have it on Steam. As for the sport, I am fat and lazy and have bad legs, so I am not tilting backwards for anyone. But for the game, yeah, I do like Limbo a lot. This is an interesting one. Will you be doing an updated beginner's class guide soon for Black Desert Online? And this is one I've actually been thinking of for making one of the next videos for when I come back to Black Desert, which will be, might even be doing something tonight. But for the class guide, I definitely plan on making a 2019 one. The thing is, my last one actually got a couple of people who've mained these characters for a long time have actually had a difference of opinions on them that I did. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually almost making this one more community fed by going in and every single, I don't know if you guys knew this, but every single class in Black Desert has a Discord where they talk about tips and stuff. And I've thought about going into every Discord and getting the community's opinion on all these classes, and then making a new one. But I don't know how long that's going to take to make, because that's going to take a lot of time. And I don't know if it's that much different than the characters are that much different than when I made it. But I'm definitely down to it. I also might just make individual class guides. So rather than like a broad 2019 beginner's class guide, I might make like beginner's guide to warrior, beginner's guide to Maewa, and do it that way, which I think would actually be a better way of doing it. So that way people don't have to sit through like an hour-long video when they could just pick whatever character they're looking at. And then, or even just do like one video where it has all the characters and then you click on each one and it takes you to a video that's like a full guide. But I'm definitely planning on doing something like that, especially since I'm just coming back to BDO now, and just letting people know a little bit more in depth for each character. I think it was going to be good. So basically a big ol' yes, I will be updating a beginner's class guide, but I don't know if it's just going to be one video. It might be one video per class, but we'll have to see. But I definitely am going to be making one. How many baguettes fit in the chicken? I mean, I guess it would depend on how big your baguette is, but like at least 2, I guess. Are you a Chad or a virgin? I'm a Churgeon Vad. And that's all you need to know. All right, question from Damage. Shout out to Damage in the Discord. I'm gonna save you from asking a Black Desert or a Warframe question. How are you feeling after your medicines? Do you feel better? Thank you for asking. I'm actually feeling quite a bit better, and thank you for reminding me I actually have to take my medications. I'm feeling quite a bit better mentally, which is why I'm actually going to be starting getting back into videos. If you guys didn't see my health update, basically I was having some pretty serious like anxiety and depression problems, but I'm on medications for them now and I'm feeling a lot better. So thank you for asking, Damage. I'm doing quite a lot better, and that's why I'm going to be making more videos, and you guys are going to be seeing a lot more of me. So don't forget to hit the notification button so you guys get updates on my videos, and I'll see you all pretty soon. What is your favorite class in BDO? Oh boy, that's a good one. Again, I'm gonna be another one of those people who just every question has multiple answers, but depends on what I'm doing. If I'm just straight up grinding, it's gonna be a toss up between Musa if I'm grinding for an hour, or Mystic if I'm grinding for more than one, because Musa, I like grinding with him quickly, but he gets kind of boring to grind with after a while because you're doing the same like one ability over and over again pretty much. So if I'm grinding for longer than an hour, I definitely say Mystic. If I'm just walking around and chatting with people, I think Warrior has the best costumes though. So if I'm looking to just walk around and look cool, Warrior. If I'm looking to grind for a couple hours, Mystic. And if I'm looking to grind quickly, Musa. And if I'm looking to PvP, I don't play anybody because I'm just going to get destroyed anyway. How many thirsty people were at your school when you attended? Don't worry, I gave them all something to drink. These ones are actually going to be from the YouTube video now that I posted. There was some comments over on the YouTube video. What inspired you to be a YouTuber? Pretty much just watching other YouTubers. I've always been watching like YouTube ever since I was a kid, and I've been making videos since 2010. No. 2008, 2009, I've been making videos. I think my first video was in 2008. It was a Line Rider video. And I was inspired to make a Line Rider video from TechDog, who was like one of the, what was the greatest Line Rider track creator of all time. So I guess you could say, TechDog inspired me to be a YouTuber. It's kind of hard to say though, because TechDog inspired me to start making YouTube videos, where I started with Line Rider videos. And then after that, I started making endorphin videos, and I started doing that because I saw some endorphin wrestling videos, which is like a 3D animation program. So I would say then I got inspired to make it through that. And then I was watching Turquoise, who's a stick figure fight animator, and that inspired me to make, I know he didn't use Tisfat and Pivot, but it inspired me to make Pivot videos. So I've basically been making videos for like 11 years, but each type of video that I make was inspired by somebody different. All the way, oddly enough, all the way up until Black Desert, when I wasn't inspired to make a video by anybody. I was inspired by the fact that there was a lack of videos for what I was looking for. So I tried to fill the void of what I was looking for, which was beginner guides for actual beginners, which is where I got started on that. And then getting 20,000 subscribers inspired me to make more videos. Would you ever consider playing Titanfall 2? That's an interesting question, actually. I have played Titanfall 2 quite a bit. I have it. And I probably put 100 and something hours into it. I just didn't think anybody really wanted to watch it anymore. I think I even have a Titanfall video on private on the channel. But if you guys want to watch some Titanfall 2 gameplay, I'm totally down for that. I like Titanfall. It's just everybody who plays Titanfall is way better than me. So you'd have to be willing to watch me get my ass kicked for like 20 minutes. But I'm totally down to make a Titanfall video if you guys are interested. And last but not least, as a new follower, what got you into BDO and what kept you there? It was actually kind of weird. When I got into BDO, I was basically sitting here. I had just lost like the 8th League of Legends game in a row, and I'm like, you know, I'm sick of playing multiplayer games right now. Not necessarily multiplayer. I'm sick of playing competitive multiplayer games right now. I don't feel like Overwatch. I don't feel like League. I don't feel like Dota. I don't feel like Counter-Strike. and I'm like, you know, I kind of want to just play an MMO and just get lost in a world. I wanted like a very immersive MMO, and Black Desert had only just come out, and I'm like, you know what, I'll play Black Desert, but what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna look up any guides. I'm not gonna look up any like how to get to max level as fast as possible, because I didn't know it was unlimited yet, but how to level up as fast as possible. I'm just gonna go in and just relax and play the video game and just sort of get lost in it. And I turned on all the lights and turned on my little lamp, and I basically just went in, and just from the get-go, the combat was so fun and the music was so good, and it was just so immersive, and it was just such a beautiful game to walk around in the forest. And I still love it, like walking around in the forest, just especially the area right near Heidel, that nice like forested land up on the hill. I think it's Kings Valley, something like that. Just walking around in that area is just something foothills. Anyway, walking around up there is still gorgeous. It feels like you're on an actual trek through a forest, and pretty much that's what kept me there, just the immersion and the insane amount of just detail they put into the environment, just walking around and enjoying it. And then, you know, I started, you know, getting fans from just playing it and making videos on it, so that's pretty much what kept me there. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much all the Q&A questions I got. If I end up doing an updated Q&A video, I might just put all the questions down in a new channel in the Discord. But aside from that, that's pretty much everything. Hopefully I answered your question. If there's one of your questions that perhaps you posted and somehow I missed it, I didn't see it, or if there's one you just forgot to ask, you didn't quite get it in the video, you can always just hit me up in Discord. You can either drop it in the questions channel, or you can just hit me with an @ directly, and I'll answer it as soon as I can. So thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for 20,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.